helping them make a plan that aligns with their positive purpose in business. So you can make a positive impact, but you can also make a profit. So welcome again to the Product to Profit webinar, which happens 2 times a month. So thanks so much for taking the time today off your busy schedule to either join me live or for the replay. I truly appreciate it, and this is your time. So please do let me know if you have any questions. You can pop them on the chat box below, and I'll be happy to answer them live. So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen with you guys, but I'll be right there. This is completely live, and let me know what I can help you with. The topic today is how to know and wow your dream clients. And the reason why I chose that topic is because a lot of marketing programs and a lot of coaches are teaching people how to develop this target market and this profile, but not a lot of these systems or groups are teaching you what to do with it after. Like, what are the practical uses of having a client profile? How do you know how to move forward, and how do you use it in the practical sense in your business every day in order to grow your sales and connect better with these ideal clients? So let me start sharing. There you go. See, gotcha. So like I was mentioning today, the topic is how to know and wow your dream clients. So today, this is what we're going to be talking about. First, I'm going to tell you who this is for, like who will benefit from this webinar better. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, or how I got here, and why should you be listening to me pretty much. I'm also going to share with you my system for business success that my clients are using, my clients that are part of my programs. And this is a system that's very different from what's being taught out there, and I'll teach you why. And the hint is that the difference is in the foundations and the focus on product-based businesses. I will share how you can focus on your customer better. And we will answer the question, what comes first? Do I define my target market, or should I launch my business and then consequently understand who are the people that are responding to what I have? And what do you do with a client profile, which is the big question that we're going to be answering today. So you've developed this profile and you have an idea of who your ideal client is, but what do you do with that now? So let's get started. Is this you? This is for people who have a store or physical products. If you stumbled upon the content and you have a service-based business, it will definitely be useful for you as well, but we're going to be focusing, when it comes to the examples, we're going to be focusing on product-based businesses. So people who have a product that's a physical product, or a store that sells product. This is for people who want to take their business to new audiences. This is for people that are not sure how to launch, relaunch, or modify their business because they know that they're not living up to their true potential. This is also for people that are not making as much money as they would like yet. Maybe they're comfortable in business, maybe they're doing okay, but they know they could be doing a lot better, and they want to make a bigger impact by reaching more audiences with what they have. A little bit about my story. In 60 seconds, I am from El Salvador. As you have noticed by now, I have an accent. So I moved to beautiful, amazing Toronto in 2009. So it was one of the big changes in my life. And as I moved here, I still kept on working in the same industry, which was consumer products and retail. So my job was, actually my latest job was specifically to help a company understand how they could sell more products, to help a retailer or a supermarket understand how can they sell more flour. And I realized that in my last job, I was dedicating all of this time of the day helping companies sell more sugar or sell more things that I wouldn't even need myself. So that was a turning point for me. And I decided that life's too short. And yeah, that's a cliche, but it's true. Life's too short to be doing work that you don't love, work that doesn't fulfill you. And now I'm doing the same type of work, but I'm doing it with companies and groups that I'm really passionate about. So it's small businesses that are truly, truly passionate about what they do, that have a positive impact, and that are connected with understanding that every positive action has a ripple effect, and whether what you're doing helps people save time, make more money, if it helps them be happier, improve their relationships, that matters. So positive impact matters. And I truly believe in changes for the coaching consulting industry, how we do business in general, to be truly purpose driven and to be inclusive and not exclusive, to not divide ourselves in groups, but understand that we're all one and the impact that we make matters for every specific group that we're part of. So that's a little bit about myself. My promises for you today is that I will give you something that you can start applying right now. You can start applying today to make a difference in your business. This is not about accumulating knowledge. This is not about me reciting theory. These are things that have worked for my clients. And I know that will work for you if you apply them. So listen up, because these tips are things that you can definitely 100% apply right now. I'm also going to help you figure out how you can efficiently launch and make money from a product-based business. Today, we're going to focus on the use of an ideal client profile. Also, no question is off limits when it comes to business. If you're joining live, please make sure you pop into the chat box and you let me know how you're doing. If you have any questions, what do you do, how I can help you. And if you are watching the replay, I will have some opportunities to connect with me after for questions, and I'll let you know how that would work. My system for business success is the PAWN system. And the reason why this is different from a lot of what's out there is because we start with foundations. We start by looking at the problem that you're solving. We start looking at the present situation of your business and your clients. And then we figure out what offerings you need to put out there to launch, relaunch, or revise your business. And we always look at your direction for success. So in the future, what's your vision, what you want to accomplish? So you have this great product idea that you want to bring into the world. Like, yeah, you're here in this training for a reason, and you know that what you're doing is going to change some lives. But who is this for? The thing that you love the most, this great idea that you have, who is this going to be for? Who is going to buy this? I'm here to tell you that successful products have one thing in common. They all build their items as a solution to solve a problem or provide an opportunity to their target market. So it's a customer-centric business in which everything they're doing is around that person, that ideal client, that person that will benefit the most with what you do and what you offer. So, who is your dream client? We've heard this term a lot. Some people call it dream client, target market, client avatar, etc. And a lot of business don't have clarity around this. And a lot of other businesses have worked on this. Maybe they read a book, maybe they took a marketing course, like I was saying, but they're not really quite sure of how they're going to use that, like how to use that in practical terms. But let's talk about creating a client profile or understanding who your dream client is. So by answering these questions, you'll be able to create a profile for your ideal client or your avatar. Who would benefit the most from what you offer? Who would be that person? How do they look like? What do they do? Why would they benefit the most from what you offer? What solution are you selling them? What problem are you solving? What makes you stand out? What do you help people with? Why would they buy from you versus your competition? Like, how are you standing out to these people? How are you connecting with them? When you answer all those questions, you'll be able to determine who is this person that is your ideal client. Then the next question that people usually have is, so how specific do you get? Like, should my profile be a woman named Sally that lives at the corner of this street and that street and is 20 years old, right? How specific do you get? It can get ridiculously specific, and is that really what you need for your business? So let's chat about that. You can define your target market by any of these areas. These are the main ones: age, geographic location, preferences, income, ethnicity. Preferences, that one can get really wide. So what are people watching? What do they like? What do they do in their free time, etc.? But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to define all of these things when it comes to your target market. You only need to define the relevant ones. So for your business, things like geographic location may not be necessary or may not be relevant because you have an online business, for example, or you ship worldwide. For other people, age may not be that relevant because they're just looking for someone that's a change maker, someone that cares about healthy living, for example. And for other places, for example, if you have a clothing line that's specific for women of a certain age, then that would be a relevant one. So women over 40 that dress in a specific way, business wear, this is what they buy, this is why they buy it. And the income may or may not be relevant for you. It's relevant for most businesses, especially for luxury items, because you're able to see if people are able to pay for what you have. Like, will they value it? Do they have disposable income? So you don't need to define all of them, only the relevant ones for your business. So when you start thinking about the people that are currently purchasing from you or the people that could start purchasing, what are the things that they have in common and how can you form that profile? So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Should you define a target market before you launch your business or in the beginning stages? Or should you launch, grow, throw it at the wall and see what sticks in the end? Like, which one comes first? Is it the growth or the targeting of your business? Well, the answer is, think of it like a cycle. So in this cycle, target market is TM. So you define your target market, then you test if that's really what's happening. You review your target market, maybe you change it a little bit, and then you define it again. So that's the cycle. And the way this works is when you launch your business, it's good to have an idea or a hypothesis of who your target market will be. Because your target market's not only the people that respond to what you have, but it's also people that you would want to work with. So when you're able to answer that question of Who are you working with? Who do you want to serve? And do you want to serve women for a reason? Do you want to serve young people for a reason? Do you want to serve older people for a reason? So who do you want to serve? That's where you start by defining your target market. And then when you put your product out there with a specific messaging, you're able to test if you were right. If maybe there's a new type of people, it's a new group that you did not think that would adopt what you have and are buying it, you may want to review your target market definition. And that happens often. And that's okay because it's a cycle. It's a cycle where you define who do you think will buy your stuff and who do you want to serve. Then you test it, you put it out there, and then after you review if it's working or not. So that's the way to look at it. So the answer is pretty much both. What comes first is defining your target market, but as you actually launch your business, you'll be able to see that people may or may not respond to what you have in the way you thought. You may have an entirely different group of people than the one you had defined, than the one you had thought you would have. And then you may have to review your target market and relaunch. So how do you figure out what your customers want? How do you create a business that's customer-centric? And how do you use that client profile to make decisions? So the first step is to determine who are those ideal clients. So coming up with this profile that might just be a hypothesis of who you think will be served best with what you have. It's also good to research similar products or solutions. So what are people using instead? And finally, you can reach out to these ideal clients to ask about their needs, whether these people are potential clients or people that are already buying from you. It's always interesting and very relevant to know what are they thinking, what are they feeling, have they found what you have useful or not. So you have a profile now, right? So you have defined who this ideal client is. Like I said, maybe you had it from the past. Maybe you took a marketing course. Maybe you went to B-school where they teach you a lot about marketing, not that much about sales. Sorry for the criticism. And so you have an idea. You have an idea maybe in your head of who this ideal client is, and you're going to put it in writing. So you have this profile now. So what do you do with it? The first thing that's a practical use of your ideal client profile, number one thing, is to take the preferences of the largest percentage of clients and use it on your product design. So being able to connect with a group of people that fit the characteristics of your target market, being able to connect with them and find out what do they care, what are their preferences specific to your product. So let's say, for example, if you find out that your target market loves to buy at farmers markets, you want to offer the product at a farmers market. If you find out that a large portion of your target market want your product in color blue, you may want to make that your first item, a blue item. So taking the preferences of this group, things that you found either through like research or by having the conversation or just by designing this profile of the ideal person and understanding that these trends and preferences need to be applied in things like your pricing, your design, your color, your shape, your size, etc. So that's the number one thing to do, to actually use this information in your product design. Or if you are a service provider, in your service, like what are these people looking for and how can you help them? The second thing you do is you understand why they're buying. So you use your ideal client profile and your research to understand the why behind the purchase. Are these people getting this because they want to save time, make more money, get some support, feel special, improve their relationships, have better gift-giving options, etc. So why are they buying? And when you understand the why, which sometimes is a little bit less obvious than you would think, it may be, I recently heard actually a smoothie company that rebranded everything they were doing because they thought that people were buying the smoothie as a snack, but they were actually buying it for a long commute to be sort of entertained and to get some nourishment that was easy to consume. So they changed their whole branding around the why of people buying, which was to be entertained during their commute, to feel better. And they made the smoothies fancier, and they made them more nutritious for these commuters that were buying them specifically for that reason. So you find out their why and you use it on your marketing everywhere. You use it on your social media, you use it on your website, wherever, because that is their motivation behind the purchase. And number 3, when you grow your business, you would want to find distribution opportunities that fit your target market. What does that mean? What stores, websites, or distributors have the same target market as you? For example, if you're looking for speaking engagements or to appear in podcasts, like what podcast, what platform would have the same target market that you can talk to? You can say, I can talk to your specific target market in this way. When you're looking for stores to have your product in, when you're looking for online platforms, when you're looking for farmers markets, who would already have your target market? How can you make that connection of telling them, I can help you serve your target market better? And at the same time, how can you benefit from what they've already built? So find those commonalities when it comes to target market. Being able to say, I know that the people that shop at your supermarket are health conscious. I know that they have disposable income. So does my target market. So that's why my product is good for your store. So that's the story that you want to be able to build. So what are the opportunities that fit you and them at the same time? Because when you show up to a store, when you show up to any partnership opportunity without knowing your business model and target market, people are not going to take you seriously. So it is one of the things that you need to know. And you have to show up from a point of view of starting a mutually beneficial relationship. So here's a quick story about my client Athena, still working with me, and transforming an amazing business idea, but understanding how foundations are so important. This is what we started working on with her. Understanding who her ideal client is, understanding what are the things that she really needs for a launch right now, and what are the things that are not that important. What can she wait longer to work on? And really building a plan from those foundations and getting clarity on what she's doing every day to launch and profit as soon as possible. Because what happens with a lot of my clients is they feel stuck. And Athena felt stuck. And a lot of people feel stuck because they see their business as this huge, overwhelming project. So it's really important to do 2 things. The first one is to prioritize the tasks that they need to do, and to understand which ones are the basic ones, which ones are the things that you definitely need to grow your business, which ones can wait, and how to align all those tasks with your foundations, such as your business model, target market, etc. So after you launch your business and after you do your testing, it's good to revisit your target market, because like I was mentioning before, it's a cycle in which you're launching, you're testing, and after you're testing, you'll be able to determine if this is something that that's working or not, because adjustments are part of the business process. So maybe every year or a couple of years, you go back and you figure who is really buying what I have. So that's a time when research can be really valuable. So maybe doing a survey or connecting with your target market in some way, interviews, etc., If you don't have the funds to like hire a firm to do research, there are ways to do it yourself. So that is always really important to connect. And there's always surprises. And people realize, oh, I did not know that this specific type of person was buying my product. So it's really, really revealing to see what's the difference between what you thought was going on in your business and what really is happening. Thanks so much for staying for the main part of the content, and I hope that the ideas that I shared with you today are useful, and I know they will be if you start really applying and practicing what I was mentioning and how to get your ideal client profile and understand their motivations and their why, and putting that in your marketing, making design decisions, and creating partnerships around it. If you are attending this on a replay and you have questions and you would like to connect with me, I want to invite you to my free community on Facebook. It's called the Work Smarter Crew for Product Makers and Developers. And this group is for people who want to grow their product-based business by working smarter and not harder. We have people who make products. We have people who own stores. And what we have here is community, networking, Q&A, exclusive content, and yes, you're able to promote your business. So you're able to ask me questions like unlimited. You get free coaching. You connect with other people in the same community who are product makers. So if you're interested, it's absolutely free, and you can find it at leilarosei.com/worksmarter. This is my world famous metaphor of the two types of entrepreneurs. And I've seen it time and time again across industries. And one of them is the hamster entrepreneur. And the other one is the squirrel entrepreneur. So the hamster entrepreneur is the one that wakes up every day and does the same things over and over and over, maybe expecting different results. Although consistency is important in business, at the same time, if your actions are not delivering the results that you would like, if you just keep on doing them, you'll get the same results. You'll remain stuck in that wheel of quote unquote busy work, where you feel like you're working hard, but not going anywhere. The squirrel entrepreneur, on the other hand, are the entrepreneurs that are working smarter. They plan for the future. They know what their vision is, and they know what specific steps are going to take them closer to that vision. And this difference between these two is in the systems and the strategy. What they have in common is they're both cute rodents, or in this case, they're both entrepreneurs. But one of them has the right systems and the right strategy and knows the right steps and knows the why behind every action that they're taking. And the other one's just feeling busy in their job and remaining stuck in a state in which they don't understand if their actions are really ever going to work, stuck in a place in which they've moved their business to a new level, but they don't feel comfortable in that level. They truly don't understand how to make the maximum benefit of it. For example, I've worked with people who recently got into retail and want to understand how that world works, right? So wherever you are, at wherever level you're in, understanding how systems and strategy can help you make have the maximum benefit of where you're at right now. If you're ready to take action and grow your business now, if this is something that's urgent for you, 1 to 10, understanding how you can create a plan to work smarter, to grow sustainably and efficiently, to stop having a business that goes up and down, to understand if your goal of making $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month is achievable, and to really put it in writing in specific steps and understand what are you doing today, Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. in order to grow your business. If that sounds like you, you want a plan that's customized, specific for your business, no cookie cutter plans, you want some feedback on your business, I have open 5 spots per week to talk to entrepreneurs who fit that description. 2 product makers and store owners who are ready. People that are tired of feeling stuck. Maybe you are successful, maybe you're doing well, but you know you could be doing better, or you have specific questions about the ideal pricing, promotions, etc. So whatever you're feeling confused and stuck, you want to get out of it and you feel ready. If you want a customized plan to achieve your vision, leave a legacy, build a lifestyle of your dreams, have a plan that aligns with your lifestyle, because you know that your business has the potential to 10x your current revenue. If that sounds like you, let's have a conversation. And you can apply to this session by application only by visiting leilarasegi.com/session. On that website, you'll be able to book a time to chat with me one-on-one about your business. And what will happen in that session? There's only 5 spots per week, and I only talk to people that I can help during the call. So during that session, you'll get clarity on where you are, where you want to go, and how to take you there. So we talk about clear next steps for your business. And we figure out if we're a fit to help for me to help you grow your business further. So you walk away with some clear steps. Clarity is everything in business, and you can apply for this free session at leilarasegi.com/session. So when it comes to staying stuck in business, my question for you is, what is it costing you? What is it costing you in terms of your purpose and fulfilling your purpose, in terms of the money that you're maybe not making yet, but you know you have potential to make, in terms of your mindset and how you feel, in terms of satisfaction of your family and your social life. And that was the case of Jenna, who I supported in understanding the tangible steps to grow and launch her business. Because a lot of people get analysis paralysis before they launch, and they're not sure if they need more or less in order to make that launch, in order to make that leap. So that's a clarity that I can help you with. So if you're interested in having a one-on-one conversation about your business, I invite you to apply at leilarasegi.com/session. So thanks so much to everyone that attended live and everyone that is watching the replay. Thanks so much. And I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. I want to thank you for making time, like I said, to either watch live or the replay, because you could be doing anything with your time right now, but you decided to spend it here with me. Remember that the 3 things that you can do with your ideal client profile is to use that information in your product design, to also use it in your marketing messaging, and to use it for partnerships and to reach out to new people. And go and implement away, and you'll see definite changes in your business. And if you're ready to stop doing it alone and to get some specialized support for your product-based business or your store, you can apply for a complimentary session at leilarasegi.com/session. Thanks so much for joining, and for any follow-up questions, you can reach out on my free Facebook group or my via email at me@leilarasegi.com. Have an amazing day.